It was a wooded area just like this a couple of miles west of I-75 off of 96 where the remains of Imogene Sanders were found. This was 1976. Some 30-odd years later, they're now linking that murder to serial killer Paul John Knowles. We spoke with GBI agents and Warner Robins Police Department about how they've linked the two together. That's right, I'm reporting live from the BBT off of Watson Boulevard and Margie Drive, where on Saturday an apparent armed robbery took place. Behind me now, the Warner Robins forensics team is inside going over the evidence that was left behind. We'll have more details once we speak with Public Information Officer Tabitha Pugh. Now, our top story tonight, the United States Defense Department is facing nearly $1 trillion in budget cuts, half of which over the next 10 years. Now, the other half could come much sooner. That's why Representative Austin Scott was in town today showing off all of the good that Robins Air Force Base has to offer.
At Robins Air Force Base, we are delivering a lot of value for every dollar that comes into this base.
Now, our top story, local authorities are still searching for a 10-year-old Warner Robins boy for he walked away from a school. Now, this is Kit Colburn. He was reported missing around noontime today at Russell Elementary. He's described as having brown hair, brown eyes, around 4 feet 7 inches and 70 pounds. They are not sure when or where he was last seen. Police are currently interviewing school officials and scouring the area for clues to his whereabouts. Along these open roads, there are a few businesses like the one that's behind me. But what the council is hoping to do by removing this ordinance is allowing for more businesses like this to be developed. Now, Westside High School in Bibb County was placed on code red lockdown when authorities found a handgun hidden in the boys' restroom. But thanks to the help of Warner Robins Rebuilding Together, good now has help.
It was obvious to me that it was God ordained and that they were godly people because, you know, my people hear my voice. And shock, I cried. I'm still crying.
I want you to take a trip with me as I show you the sights and sounds of the big show. On Saturday at the Open House and Air Show, crowds flocked to view the aerial performances as well as the many static displays. Some even found a few creative ways to beat the heat. You guys having a good time? Yeah. What do you want to see now? What's coming up next?
Blue Angels.
Yeah, the Blue Angels. Have you seen them before?
My favorite part is the Blue Angels. I'm representing all jets because I go to a jet school, so I'm representing all jets.
And with that, we leave you with the sights and sounds of the U.S. Navy's Blue Angels. Such a great time at the air show. I want to thank everyone at Robins Air Force Base for that. So when the weather is nice like this, come on out to Peaches and Cream, the Bikini Barista. You can spice up your coffee and spice up your morning. For Newsnight on the Patriot, I'm Brandon Evans. When the weather's whippy outside, get out and take advantage of it. Go throw the old pigskin around. I'm here with Todd Wilson of WRWR. We're going to enjoy this. And yes, that's a vintage 1980 Herschel Walker jersey. Not a football fan? No problem. Kick back, relax, and go fishing. Many fish will bite year-round, especially when it's unseasonably warm. But don't be selfish. Remember others like the warm weather, too. On days like these, when it's nice outside, Wellston Trail provides many opportunities, one of which, taking your dog for a walk. When the weather's really bad, it's raining, and it's cold, he doesn't necessarily get the exercise he needs, so take advantage of days like this. Shed that winter weight before the holidays by walking or jogging and take a friend. Sometimes the weather is so nice all you want to do is sit back in the park and read a book. One way to enjoy the wimpy winter is by hitting the golf course. No matter how you prefer to spend your time this winter, if you get out of the office, at least get outside and enjoy the weather while it lasts. For Newsnight on the Patriot, I'm Brandon Evans.
Well, I saw Rampage had a cameo in there, and he looked like he was enjoying his walk on this nice day. I know I need to take my dog out and do that as well.
Yes, we should arrange a play date for my dog Rampage and her dog Zeus.
That sounds good. Let him get some exercise.
Sounds like a weird movie, doesn't it? Rampage and Zeus.
Zeus.
Yeah, I don't know. The Medical Center of Central Georgia featured a steady flow of people coming in to enroll in the American Cancer Society's cancer prevention study, and I was one of them. Over 250 people enrolled the day I was there, with more expected to enroll the following day. Let's take you through it. I arrived at the Medical Center of Central Georgia, which was the closest facility to me which conducts the study. Once there, I was met with the courteous staff, which instructed me as to exactly what I had to do. In this case, it involved filling out a consent form and a brief survey about my health and lifestyle. After that, they took some quick measurements for their records. These measurements can be used later to determine the cancer risks that go along with weight gain. After that, it was off to the only slightly uncomfortable part of the trip, and that was giving blood. I'm not a fan of needles, but the staff did an excellent job drawing 4 vials of blood for their record. There's one classroom at Tucker Elementary School where the students are actually helping interview the teachers. It's right down this hallway. Let's find out what kind of questions they're asking. Now, you've been taking part in the process today?
Yes, sir. I've been asking them questions.
And what kind of questions have you been asking them?
I'm asking them why they've wanted to teach here and how long they've been teaching, and just questions like that.
Now, what's important to you about having the best possible teacher you can have?
Well, having the best possible teacher would be great, and that's why we're interviewing them, to find the best possible teachers.
Smart kid. Now, have you asked them about how much homework they give?
Not really.
That's a good thing. Now, just behind me inside the Civic Center, they're going to do a presentation where they're going to do a mock crime. One of the officers from the K-9 unit is going to volunteer to be the perpetrator, and we're going to see one of these dogs in live action. Should be quite an exciting show. And if that wasn't exciting enough, wait till we take a look at it from the dog's perspective. The Warner Robins Police Department's K-9 unit first began in April of 1995, but at that time, the unit consisted of a single handler and a single-purpose K-9 unit. Today, the K-9 division has 3 full-service K-9s. They are Ego, Ollie, and Rasty. Rasty was the one that we saw in action today. All 3 of them are capable of doing functions for patrol, narcotics detection, and tracking. The Tactical Electronics K-9 camera mounts to the back of the dog via harness and allows the handler to view real-time video on a wrist-mounted monitor while the K-9 is searching an area. The camera features a built-in DVR and records the video and audio for an action review and archiving. So there's a new crime fighter in town, and it's of the K-9 variety, so burglars beware. Reporting for The Patriot, I'm Brandon Evans.
Dick Tracy would be proud. He had the watch communicator and everything. That's way cool.
Yeah, it was, and we'll talk more about that on tomorrow's Newsnight about, the police department really telling us about being responsible journalists. We're not going to give away all of the secrets of how they use those dogs for tactics and investigations because we don't want the bad guys to know all the details. A 28-year-old George Zimmerman is facing a second-degree murder charge after using Florida's Stand Your Ground law to justify his gunning down an unarmed 17-year-old Trayvon Martin. It was in late February of this year. Zimmerman is currently free on a $150,000 bond. The body of a 7-year-old autistic girl was found yesterday afternoon in a lake near a South Georgia military base. Now, more than 100 volunteers went searching for Hannah Ross after she left her house at the Fort Gordon just before 7 p.m. on Saturday. A dive team found Hannah's body the next day at the bottom of the soil erosion lake. According to an area spokesperson, Hannah was autistic and needed to touch water when she was distressed. That is believed to have caused her drowning. Former City Councilman John Williams will appear in court for sentencing in the federal extortion case on Thursday morning. I'm Brandon Evans reporting from the Lowe's parking lot where the building was evacuated because of an apparent bomb threat.